I never thought a simple, well, could unravel the threads of my family like a frayed rope in a Montana windstorm. My name is Emily Hayes, and up until last year, my life was as steady as the Rockies, teaching fourth grade at Willow Creek Elementary in Bozeman, Montana. At 34, I rented a cozy cabin on the outskirts of town, drove a beat-up Chevy truck that had seen better days, and found joy in weekend hikes through Yellowstone. Money? It was never the point. Happiness came from molding young minds, not chasing dollars. My folks, Robert and Diane Hayes, were cut from different cloth. Dad built Hayes Ranch supplies from a single feed store into a chain spanning Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho. He saw the world in ledgers and land deals, treating family like assets on a balance sheet. Mom complimented him perfectly, a social butterfly who turned cattle auctions into high society mixers, collecting rancher friends like prized buckles. They lived in a massive log mansion in Gallatin Gateway, with matching SUVs and a pool that screamed success. They couldn't wrap their heads around why I'd squander my life on a teacher's salary of barely 45 grand a year. But my real anchors were my grandparents, Clara and Jack Thompson, Mom's parents. They were the heart of everything good in me. While my parents networked at rodeos, Grandma Clara taught me to quilt by the fire in her warm kitchen. Grandpa Jack showed me how to mend fences and read the weather in the clouds. They ran Thompson freight lines from a single semi-truck into a solid logistics outfit hauling across the West, all from their modest ranch house on 15 acres near Livingston. Sundays were sacred. They'd scoop me up in their old Ford while my parents recovered from Saturday galas, and we'd head out for what we called range days, picnics by the Yellowstone River, visits to ghost towns, or just cruising the backroads. On those drives, Grandpa would spin yarns about building his business, not boasting about profits, but beaming about the drivers he'd employed and the communities he'd kept connected. Money's like a good horse, he'd say, his calloused hands firm on the wheel. It'll carry you far, but it's the direction you ride that counts. Grandma would chime in, her voice soft as summer rain. A person's worth ain't in their wallet, but in the tracks they leave for others. They walked that talk, driving the same truck for decades, quietly funding local 4-H programs, and supporting food drives without fanfare. When I chose teaching over ranch management, my parents flipped. Grandparents? They hosted a backyard barbecue and toasted me as a hero shaping the future. Family gatherings at my folks' place were stiff affairs, discussions of market prices over prime rib, subtle digs at my simple life. But Sundays at the ranch were pure warmth, stories swapped over pot roast, genuine interest in my students' antics. They knew every kid's name, celebrated my classroom wins, and buoyed me through tough days. As years passed, I saw the rift widen. My parents' visits to the ranch turned transactional, pitches for investing in new stores, gripes about family assets staying close. Grandparents would hear them out, then gently say no, only for the tension to simmer until next time. The last chat with Grandma, a week before the crash, lingers like a shadow. We sat on the porch swing, watching the sun dip behind the Absarcas. When she squeezed my hand, Jack and I ain't eternal.
Eminência.
Things might get thorny after we're gone. Just know we see your heart plain as day, not for what you got, but who you are. I brushed it off, saying they had plenty of time. She just smiled and asked about my class's upcoming history fair. Then came the wreck. A semi-jackknifed on I-90 in a blizzard, taking them both. The state troopers call hit while I prepped lesson plans, words blurring into immediate fatalities. I crumpled. The funeral blurred by, parents in tailored black, accepting condolences like business cards. I caught Mom whispering to a cousin about efficient estate handling. It turned my stomach. For days post-burial, their lawyer, Marcus Reed, a fixture for 35 years, summoned us for the will reading in his Bozeman office. The room buzzed with kin, parents, Mom's brother Frank with wife Laura, their daughter Megan, and distant cousins. Marcus started gravely. Clara and Jack left precise instructions. He fired up a screen with a video they'd recorded 8 months prior. At their kitchen table, the heart of our Sundays. Grandma's face filled the frame. Grandpa beside her. "If y'all are seeing this, we're gone," she said steadily. Grandpa added, "We grew Thompson Freight from one rig to a fleet worth about $28 million after selling to Western haulers last year." Gasps rippled. Mom's grip tightened on her chair. "We lived by honest rules. Hard work. Fair play. Lettin' money serve kindness." Grandma's eyes pierced. "Sad to say, some of y'all forgot that." The video laid it bare. Every denied loan. Every guilt trip. Backed by texts, emails, even voicemails. "So," Grandpa declared, "we bequeath everything, ranch, stocks, cash to our granddaughter, Emily Hayes. She's the only one who never came begging, who showed up for us, not our pockets." Chaos erupted. "This is madness." Mom surged up. "I'm their daughter," Frank bellowed. "We'll fight this." Megan sneered. The devoted teacher ploy, smart long con. Marcus hushed them. "There's more." Video resumed. "We know y'all might contest." Emily knew nothing about the sale or our worth. She loved us thinking we were plain retirees. Grandpa warned, "Any harassment triggers a defense fund we've set. Marcus has all proof. Go public if you push." Screen faded. Silence crashed. Dad stood, eyes cold. $28 million to a gal scrappin' by on teacher pay? "We talk tomorrow." Our place. 9 a.m. They stormed out. Glares like daggers. Marcus handed me a private envelope. "Just for you. Be cautious." Alone. I drove to the ranch. Tears blurring the highway. The envelope burned in my pocket as I pulled into the ranch drive. Gravel crunching under tires. Inside. The house felt like a time capsule, Grandma's quilt half-folded. Grandpa's hat on the hook. I sank into their armchair. Opened it, another video file on a USB. Plugging it into the old laptop. Their faces appeared again. This one dated a month before the crash. "Darlin'," Grandma started, "if things turned ugly, watch this. We love you fierce. But we saw the storm brewin'. Your folks and kin, they've chased green too long. We documented it all, not to hurt, but to shield you." Grandpa nodded. "Hired pros, peace. Accountants. If they threaten, use it. But remember, forgiveness has its place." Show and the high road. It ended with hugs to the camera. I wept, but a spark ignited, resolve. Next morning, their mansion loomed like a fortress. Cars jammed the drive, full family ambush. Inside, they circled the great room like coyotes. "About time," Mom snapped. No seat offered. "We fixed this misstep." Misstep? I stood firm by the mantel. Grief's cloud new. Sign power of attorney. We'll manage fair. You get a nice trust, say, $3 million. Rest splits family style. Frank added, "Megan's got vet school debt. Laura and I prime grazing land. Your folks' stores need expanding. And grandparents' wishes?" I countered. Megan rolled eyes. "Old folks got conned by your weekly visits. I was there 'cause I loved 'em." Voices rose. "Mom, they were failin'. Easy prey. I fired back. You only showed when needing cash. Last visit? Pushin' for store funds. Tensions boiled. Dad's voice cut like a whip. Sign or face heat. Your cabin? Leased through Hayes Properties. Truck loan? Our bank. School job? Board's chair golfs with me. Donations speak loud. Mom approached. We hate this. But $28 million's too big for you. You'll squander it. Her slap stung, sudden. Sharp. 48 hours. Sign or lose it all. We'll drag courts dry. Frank slid papers. You keep 3 mil. We divide rest. Win-win. I whispered. Not for them. Dad. They're gone. Move on. I fled. Phone pinging. Eviction notice. Principal's urgent meet text. War declared. Back at the ranch. Marcus called. Heard about the meetin'. Come quick, pack essentials. His office felt safe. Your grandparents foresaw this. We got contingencies. He outlined. Ironclad will. Competency evals recent. Anti-contest clauses. If they sue, our fund counters with their dirt. Ethical. Legal. Relief washed. But anger simmered. They slapped me. Threatened everything. Marcus. Use the private vid wisely. Maybe offer olive branch later. Days blurred into strategy. Parents filed injunction. Claiming undue influence, me isolating them. Media sniffed. Montana heiress battle. I hunkered at the ranch. Teaching remotely. Sarah Klein. PI from grandparents' hire. Arrived. They tasked me pre-crash. Got footage. Records. Videos showed kin rifling drawers at the wake. Pocketing silver. Snapping bank docs. Court loomed in Gallatin County. Judge Elena Vargas presided, stern. Fair. Their lawyer, Harlan Brooks, painted me schemer. Emily manipulated vulnerable elders. My side, Marcus presented vidwill. Docs. No influence. Emily unaware of wealth. Witnesses, neighbors, drivers testifying grandparent sharpness. My genuine bond. Their case crumbled. Mom testified tearfully. She stole our parents. But cross-exam revealed her ignored calls. Money bags. Frank faltered on stand. Megan admitted sparse visits. Judge. Evidence shows plaintiff's greed. Not defendants. Injunction denied. Will upheld. Plus. Referral for theft charges from wake footage. Outside. Kin seethed. Dad. This ain't over. But a crack showed. Mom's eyes held regret. I pondered grandparents' words. Forgiveness. Weeks later. Foundation ideas bloomed. I'd honor them by funding rural schools. AG scholarships. But family's silence gnawed. Sarah uncovered more. Old letter from parents petitioning grandparents' incompetency 5 years back. Rebuffed for motive. Leverage if needed, she said. Then Dad texted. Meet. Our place. Saturday. 9 a.m. Alone. Marcus advised no. Sarah offered wire. But I went. Recording discreetly, seeking closure. Not war. Rain pattered the windshield as I parked curbside. Not driveway. Inside. The great room felt oppressive, family assembled. Faces drawn. Dad looked haggard. Mom fragile. Frank fidgeted. Laura sipped coffee shakily. Megan glared daggers. You showed, Dad said. Voice flat. Court ruled. But appeals drag. We got connections, judges. Das. Frank. End it now. Transfer 12 mil to family fund. Keep rest. Mom. Or we ruin you, reputation. Job. Threats hung heavy. I stayed calm. That's extortion. Pulled phone. Recorded. Streamed to Marcus and feds. Bluffs? No, grandparents' files included fraud hints. Dad's insured barn fire, Frank's land scam, Mom's charity schemes, Megan's forged loans. Faces paled. Dad. Lies. But I listed details. Grandparents knew. Documented to protect me. Sirens wailed. Cops. FBI arriving. Deal. Sign no claim. No contact. I withhold old crimes. You face recent theft. Extortion, probation likely. Chaos. Denials. Please. Mom broke. We were desperate. Dad slumped. As arrests proceeded for theft and conspiracy, I read grandparents' final letter. Stand firm.
Eminencia.
Justice with mercy. Handcuffed. Mom whispered. Sorry. A seed of humanity. Post-arrest. They bailed quick. 72 hours. They signed. Fines paid. Probation set. No contact enforced. Peace descended. But emptiness lingered. I pondered the humane path. Grandparents' lesson. Greed poisons. But redemption possible. Foundation launched. Thompson Education Trust. Tech for schools. Teacher grants. Youth programs. First check. Computers for Willow Creek. Joy in giving echoed their wisdom. Teaching resumed amid whispers. But kids cared not. Hugs. Stories mattered. Ranch became home. Hired hand Miguel shared meals. Tales of grandparents' early days. Sarah found another box, journals. Grandpa's last. Clara and I built well. But M's our legacy, kind, steadfast. Money frees her to shine. Tears flowed. Months on. Judge Vargas mentored. Regrets. They chose greed. I choose grace. New family. Board members. Teachers.
Community.
Mrs. Ruiz from the feed store sent pies. Adopting me. Cleaning the barn. Found hidden note. M. Storm past. Strengths and roots. Not riches. Forgive where you can lifts the soul. I framed it beside our photo, Grandpa grinning. Grandma proud. Me unaware of depths. Healing began not revenge, but growth. Lesson light. Family ain't blood alone. It's who stands by you. Money tools kindness. True wealth's in connections forged true. As spring thawed the Montana snow, the foundation hummed. We partnered with tribes for cultural ed programs, funded vet clinics for rural kids like Megan once dreamed. Irony? I reached out anonymously, paid her remaining debt. Not absolution, but a nod to potential change. One evening, a knock, Mom. Alone. Eyes downcast. Violates order, I said, but let her in. Needed to say. We're sorry. Greed blinded us. Tears fell. Your grandparents tried warning us years back. We talked hours, memories, regrets. No full mend, but a bridge. Foundations thriven, I shared. She nodded. They be proud. Left with tentative hug. Dad called weeks later. Heard from Diane. Thinkin' 'bout volunteerin' at shelters. Small steps. Frank sold shady assets, started honest consulting. Megan entered rehab, then real vet tech program. Ripples of change.
He dated quietly met Alex.
A park ranger. On a hike. Shared values, simple joys over flash. Sundays? Picnics by the river. Echoing old adventures. Court epilogue, charges stuck, but sentences light, community service. Dad rebuilt a school playground, Mom organized drives. Force good, but seeds planted. Journaling helped process. Grandparents' plan wasn't destruction, but revelation. Showed us all mirrors, ugly sides, but capacity for better. Lesson: revenge cycles pain, compassion breaks it. Summer brought board retreat at ranch. Laughter filled rooms, once silent. Miguel's chili simmered, stories flowed. Felt like home again. Anonymous letter arrived. Thanks for the chance. Turning leaf. Megan's script. Smile cross my face, humanity wins. Teaching hit stride. Class project on family heritage. Kids shared, I did too, minus drama. Families who loves unconditional. Their wide eyes reminded. Impact starts small. Fall harvest fair. Ran into kin. Awkward nods. But no venom. Dad. Foundations making waves. Good work. Thaw continued. Grandparents' grave visit. You taught mercy amid justice. Families healing, your real gift. Wind whispered approval. A year post-inheritance. Life balanced. Foundation expanded. Scholarships hit 50. Mobile libraries rolled. Personal. Alex proposed by the Yellowstone simple ring. Profound yes. Wedding at ranch. Community affair.
No extravagance.
Parents attended.
Tentative.
Mom helped quilt favors. Dad grilled. Frank brought pie. Megan assisted kids' games. Not perfect, but progress. Vows echoed grandparents' wisdom. Build with love. Honeymoon hike. Reflected on journey. Greed exposed, but humanity redeemed. Lesson: forgiveness frees, holds space for growth. Back home. New journal entry. Money revealed truths, but hearts mended. Grandparents' legacy. Not fortune, but faith in better selves. Daily, teach, give, love. Cabin upgraded modestly, truck reliable. Wealth in purpose, not possession. Final thought. Best revenge is thriving kindly, inviting others along. That's the Western way, vast skies. Open hearts. Grandparents smiled from above. Plan complete in unexpected grace.